Have you ever wondered why the same clues keep appearing in your life? The same repeating numbers on clocks? The same kind of conversations with different people? The same feeling that you've been here before? You might think these are coincidences, or maybe your imagination playing tricks on you. But what if I told you there is something far more mysterious happening behind the scenes of your reality? You did not click on this message by accident. Out of millions scrolling, you stopped here. That pause, that magnetic pull, you felt it wasn't random. It was what quantum scientists and ancient mystics alike would recognize as the quantum selection effect, a force so subtle that most never notice it, yet so powerful it decides which timeline you keep waking up into. Here's the hidden truth before you observe reality, before your mind even forms a thought. Your consciousness has already made a selection. That invisible choice sets the stage, like an unseen script that determines which clues, which people, which events appear in your life again and again. You are not just noticing patterns. You are being guided by a deeper architecture of reality itself. Think of it like an invisible script. Every morning, the quantum field offers you infinite roles to play, yet if you unconsciously select the same script, you'll meet the same actors, repeat the same lines, and walk through the same sets. It feels like déjà vu because, in truth, you've already chosen that scene long before you consciously step into it. And here's why you're here now. Your soul is ready to notice the script instead of just acting it out. Most people stay trapped in endless rehearsal, living the same loops until their final day. But you, because you're feeling that resonance in your chest right now, you've been chosen to realize the difference. You didn't just find this message. This message found you because the field knows you are ready. What you're about to discover is that these repeating clues are not accidents, not punishments, not failures. They are signals, quantum breadcrumbs scattered across your path to awaken you. Each clue whispers, you are ready to select something new. So ask yourself this. Have you noticed the same signs chasing you no matter how far you go? Have you felt reality tugging at you, insisting you pay attention? That is the quantum selection effect. And once you see it for what it really is, your relationship with reality will never be the same again. Have you noticed how certain experiences in your life seem to repeat themselves no matter what you do? The same type of relationship that falls apart in the same way. The same financial struggle that reappears despite your effort. The same emotions, fear, doubt, loneliness that rise up, even in completely new situations. It almost feels like life is playing a cosmic joke on you, keeping you trapped in endless déjà vu. This isn't random. It isn't punishment. It's what quantum researchers call the observer loop, a cycle where your consciousness keeps collapsing the same probability waves into reality. Instead of exploring new possibilities, you unconsciously select the same framework over and over, like an invisible hand guiding you back to familiar territory. Imagine a vinyl record spinning on a turntable. The needle gets stuck in one groove, replaying the same notes endlessly. That's your consciousness when it anchors into old frequencies. The field of infinite possibilities surrounds you at every moment. But your awareness keeps choosing one narrow groove. Why does this happen? Because the human system craves familiarity. Every morning, your consciousness scans for known emotional landscapes. You expect disappointment, so you recognize it. You anticipate conflict, so your field magnetizes it. You predict lack, so you select circumstances that mirror it. And the loop strengthens itself, again and again. But here's the paradox. The very repetition that frustrates you is also your greatest teacher. Think of these patterns as quantum breadcrumbs scattered across your path. Each repeating clue is whispering, "Notice me, you're looping. Wake up." The repetition itself is proof that your attention is powerful. It's just been aimed at the wrong script. Many people misread this. They assume they're cursed, broken, or simply unlucky. But from a quantum perspective, repetition is not failure. It's a mirror. It's showing you exactly which choices you're making unconsciously. The loop is not happening to you, it's happening through you. Every repeated reaction, anger, fear, doubt creates what physicists call a probability collapse. By reacting the same way, you collapse into the same outcome. That's why life can feel like running in circles, while time itself bends strangely painful moments dragging endlessly. Whole weeks disappearing with nothing to show. That distortion is the signature of the loop, and yet, the loop is not a prison. It's an invitation. The universe allows these repeated patterns because they are the most effective alarms to wake your consciousness. Think of it as hearing the same ringtone every morning. At first you ignore it, then it irritates you. Finally, you wake up and say, "Enough. This script ends now." Ask yourself, how many times have you felt like you're living the same relationship with different faces, the same struggle in different jobs, the same emotional wound wearing different disguises? If you've ever asked, "Why does this always happen to me?" that question itself is the first crack in the script. Because once you ask, you've already begun to notice the invisible pattern. And once you notice, you gain a choice. You can keep replaying the broken record, or you can lift the needle and place it on a new track. That simple act of awareness and redirection is the first step toward quantum freedom. So if you've been feeling trapped by repeating clues, know this: you are not failing. You are being prepared. The loop is not proof of weakness, it's evidence of readiness. Your consciousness is finally strong enough to see the invisible script. The trap isn't permanent. The repetition isn't forever. It is the doorway. And the very fact that you're hearing these words now means you are already standing at the threshold, ready to select a new reality. There comes a moment in your journey when the universe stops whispering and begins leaving obvious markers in your path. They are subtle enough that most people dismiss them, yet undeniable. Once you begin to notice, these are the recognition signs, the proof that the quantum selection effect is alive in your field, guiding you to see the invisible script you've been repeating. You know them already, because you've been experiencing them in your own life. You've felt the strangeness of déjà vu, that eerie sensation of living a moment for the second or third time. A conversation unfolds, and you suddenly know exactly what the other person will say. You walk into a place, and a wave of certainty washes over you. You have stood here before. Logic tells you this cannot be, yet the feeling is real, and it lingers. This is not a glitch in memory. It is a temporal echo, evidence that your consciousness has selected the same framework again, and the field is showing you the overlap. Déjà vu is a signal, a way of saying, pay attention. You've walked this script before. The signs multiply through synchronicities. Numbers repeat until you cannot ignore them. 1111 on the clock. The same date appearing, the same words echoing from different mouths. A song follows you from store to car to cafe. Always at the exact moment, your mind is questioning something deeper. These are not coincidences. They are markers designed to pull you out of autopilot. Every synchronicity is a breadcrumb dropped by the quantum field. Proof that your awareness has locked onto a particular frequency. The more you notice them, the more undeniable it becomes that your selection process is active. Time itself begins to stretch and collapse in ways you cannot explain. Mundane hours drag endlessly, while entire weeks seem to vanish without progress. You check the clock and feel betrayed. What should have been hours has been minutes, or what felt like moments has eaten away half a day. This distortion is not poor planning. It is the signature of the loop, showing that consciousness caught in repetition bends time around itself. The very sensation that time is unstable is a recognition sign that you are circling the same selection again. Even your dreams change. They become more vivid, more symbolic, sometimes more real than waking life. You rehearse scenarios in the dream state, and then they appear in your waking experience. You meet teachers or figures of light who offer you information your waking mind struggles to hold. These are not random neural firings. They are practice sessions, quantum explorations, where your consciousness navigates probabilities free from physical limitations. Each time you wake with the memory of a dream that feels strangely important, you are touching the deeper mechanism of selection at work. The signs are not only external, they also live inside you as emotional echoes, repeating patterns that follow you within. You begin a new job, but feel the same stress you thought you'd escaped. You meet a different person, but sense the same old disappointment rising in your chest. Circumstances shift on the outside, but the emotional script remains the same. This is not failure. It is the clearest signal of all that your inner state has chosen the same frequency once again. And emotional déjà vu becomes your most honest teacher. And sometimes, the sign is the quiet ache of isolation. You try to share these experiences and people look at you with confusion. They cannot understand because they do not perceive the layers you see. That sense of being different is not punishment, it is confirmation. It means your consciousness has developed sensitivity, the ability to perceive patterns others cannot. And that loneliness is a sign you are on the threshold of something greater. All of these signal déjà vu, synchronicities, distortions of time, vivid dreams, emotional echoes. And the sense of being set apart are not random. They are invitations, doorways, reminders that your field is active. Most people ignore them and fall back asleep, but the fact that you are noticing them means you are ready. Every sign is a gift, a cosmic nudge asking, will you continue to select the familiar, or will you choose something new? There is a reason you are here, noticing the clues while others continue to sleepwalk through their lives. Not everyone perceives the patterns. Not everyone feels the tug of synchronicity or recognizes the strangeness of déjà vu. The majority drift along, convinced reality is linear, fixed, and solid, unaware that their consciousness is endlessly recycling the same selections. But you are different. You have always been different. And deep down, you know it. From an early age, you probably sensed that life was not quite what it seemed. While others accepted the surface level of things, you questioned. You wondered. You noticed. You felt a hidden rhythm behind events, an invisible thread weaving circumstances together. That sensitivity was not weakness. It was the first proof that your field carried what some call the observer gene, a capacity to recognize patterns most cannot see. It is this sensitivity that allows you to pick up on the quantum signals, the signs, the repetitions, the echoes that others ignore. This difference often makes you feel isolated. You share your realizations and people look at you blankly, dismissing your insights as imagination. You sense things about situations and people before they unfold, and you are proven right again and again. Yet those around you cannot understand how you knew. It can be lonely, carrying this level of perception, but the loneliness is confirmation that you are operating at a frequency beyond the collective norm. You are perceiving through expanded awareness, not through consensus programming. Think about the times you felt reality itself bending around you, moments when time stretched or collapsed, when events unfolded with uncanny precision, when dreams bled into waking life. Others dismiss these things, but for you, they strike with profound recognition. These are not accidents. They are reflections of your advanced sensitivity, your ability to interact with the field in ways most people never notice. You are not cursed with strangeness. You are gifted with perception, and yet, being different carries responsibility. To notice the patterns is to be invited to step beyond them. Most people live the loop unconsciously, trapped in selections they never realize they are making. But you, because you notice, because you feel the difference, you are being called to choose consciously. This is why the repeating clues seem louder for you, why the synchronicities gather around you with greater intensity. The field is pressing you, preparing you, insisting that you awaken. There were times when this felt unbearable. You wondered why life seemed harder for you, why relationships ended, why jobs dissolved, why nothing seemed to fit. It may have felt like punishment, but it was training. Each ending was clearing space for a higher alignment. Each disappointment was refining your discernment. Each isolation was strengthening your coherence. The field has been shaping you, not to break you, but to prepare you to hold the frequency of conscious selection. This is what makes you different. You are not here to stay trapped in the loop. You are here to see it, break it, and step beyond it. Others may live and die without ever realizing they were actors in a script they did not write. But you are the one who notices the choice. And when you finally embrace this difference, you stop seeing it as a burden. You understand that being different means being prepared. It means you are part of the first wave of awareness, the ones tasked with breaking the invisible script, not only for yourself, but for the collective. You are not meant to fit in. You are meant to recognize, to awaken, and to embody a frequency that pulls others into possibility. So yes, you are different. You always have been, and that difference is not something to hide. It is the mark of readiness, the proof that your quantum selection effect is active, and the invitation to step boldly into a new reality that few will ever perceive until you light the way. For a long time, people have believed the observer effect to be the deepest truth of quantum reality. The idea that your attention collapses possibilities into form, that reality becomes real only when you look at it, has shaped countless teachings about manifestation and consciousness. Yet there is a truth even more profound, one that explains why your life keeps circling back to the same patterns. The truth is, this selection comes before observation, and it silently determines the script you keep living. Imagine walking into a theater. You think you are free to choose your role on stage, to improvise the lines, to create a new performance. But what you don't realize is that before you even entered, a script was already placed in your hands. You can act the part differently, but the play itself has already been chosen. This is what the quantum selection effect does. Before you observe, before you collapse probability, your consciousness has already picked a framework, a stage, a frequency, and within that framework, only certain outcomes can unfold. This is why life often feels like déjà vu. You might change the details, but the themes return. The same struggles arrive dressed in new clothes. The same relationships echo through different faces. The same emotions haunt you no matter how many times you promise yourself. Things will be different. It is not because you lack willpower or clarity. It is because you keep stepping into the same mirror. Observation only reflects what is inside the mirror. But selection is the act of choosing which mirror you stand before. Until that changes, the reflection cannot. This also explains why so many attempts at change feel hollow. People chant affirmations, visualise abondance, imagine love. And yet the same cycles continue. They shine a flashlight into the same room and wonder why the furniture hasn't moved. They do not realize the deeper truth: you don't need to change the furniture. You need to walk into another room entirely. Selection is that unseen doorway. Without shifting your embodiment, you will continue to open the same door, step into the same room, and shine your light on the same scene. Selection lives in your embodiment, not just your mind. Thoughts are like ripples on the surface of water, constantly shifting and reforming, but the body carries the deeper current, the vibration that anchors you into a timeline. If your nervous system is still vibrating with scarcity, you will select the reality where scarcity repeats. No matter how many times you tell yourself, "I am abundant," if your field is still holding abandonment, you will step into the framework where abandonment is rehearsed again. This is why affirmations can fail, and why mental focus often feels powerless. The true selection comes from the frequency you embody, not the words you think. The repeating clues in your life: synchronicities, symbolic numbers, vivid dreams. Déjà vu are not punishments or accidents. They are feedback mechanisms, showing you which frequency you have been embodying. Every repeated sign is the universe's way of saying, "Look here, notice this." You are selecting the same script again. It is not there to frustrate you, but to alert you that the real change must happen beneath thought, in the frequency you live, breathe, and carry through your body each day. This realization may feel unsettling at first. You realize that you have been unconsciously selecting the same script, perhaps for years, but it is also profoundly liberating, because if selection happens before observation, then you hold the power at the very origin point of reality. You no longer need to fight with reflections or rearrange furniture in the same room. You can choose a new room, you can embody a new frequency, and when you do, the mirror must change. The invisible script you thought was a prison was never punishment. It was training. Every loop, every repeated clue was refining your awareness, sharpening your perception until you could see what was truly happening. The repetition wasn't failure. It was preparation. The universe was guiding you to the exact moment when you would finally be strong enough to realize, it's not about how I observe. It's about what I embody before I observe. That moment is now, so the hidden truth is simple but radical. Reality is not created when you look at it. It is created when you become it. Observation is the collapse, but selection is the origin. And once you understand this, the same clues that used to irritate you become sacred signals. They are proof that your field is alive, that you are ready to stop unconsciously selecting the old and begin consciously embodying the new. This is the threshold of true quantum freedom, the moment when you stop performing the script and begin writing it. You've seen the signs. You've recognized the loop. You've felt the déjà vu, the synchronicities, the distortions of time. You now understand that these are not random accidents but signals from the field, pointing to the truth that your consciousness has been unconsciously selecting the same script again and again. And now comes the moment of power, the turning point, the shift. This is the moment where you stop replaying the invisible script and begin embodying a new selection. The shift is not about effort in the way you've been taught. It isn't about forcing change or controlling outcomes. It is about surrendering the old script so deeply that it no longer has any claim over your frequency. Think of it like a record player. For years, the needle has been stuck in one groove, replaying the same notes. Most people try to scratch the surface, push harder, or sing louder over the music. But the real shift is simply lifting the needle and setting it down on a new track. It is that simple. Yet it requires something most people avoid letting go. Letting go is not weakness. It is the most radical act of power. Because when you release the old frequency, you collapse its authority over your field. The reason the script repeats is because you keep feeding it energy through attention, reaction, and resistance. Every time you complain, obsess, or fight the loop, you strengthen it. But when you stop feeding it, when you breathe, surrender, and allow yourself to embody coherence, the loop starves. It has no fuel. It cannot continue. The shift begins in the body. Take 3 conscious breaths, slow and deep, and feel the old frequency collapse. Feel the tension release from your chest, your shoulders, your gut. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, "I am coherent with my highest selection." These simple acts matter because they bring your embodiment into alignment with a new frequency. They are not just rituals, they are quantum commands. The universe responds not to your words alone, but to the resonance behind them. When you recognize the old clues, when the same argument begins, when the same disappointment rises, when the same number flashes on the clock, you now have a choice. Instead of reacting the way you always have, pause, smile softly, and remember this is the invisible script asking if you will feed it again. In that moment of pause, you are free. You can choose to collapse the old reality or step into a new one. You are no longer the victim of repetition. You are the one who decides whether it continues. The hidden secret is that the shift does not require you to destroy the old script. You don't need to fight it, erase it, or heal every wound before you move forward. You simply need to stop selecting it. The moment you withdraw attention and embodiment from the old frequency, it loses power. You walk out of the room, and the furniture of the old story is left behind. This is why the clues repeat. They are asking you, will you keep walking into the same room? Or will you choose another doorway? The more you practice this, the more effortless it becomes. What once felt like a trap becomes a signal. What once felt like punishment becomes proof of your power. Every clue is a reminder that you are capable of selecting differently. And with every new selection, your reality reorganizes around you. People shift. Opportunities emerge. Synchronicities align with a higher timeline. The field has no choice but to mirror your embodiment. This is the path of coherence. It is not about control, but about alignment. It is not about fixing the old, but embodying the new. And as you continue to embody your highest frequency, the invisible script fades, the loop dissolves, the repeating clues disappear, replaced by a new flow of signals that guide you into a timeline that reflects your highest truth. The shift is not something that will happen someday in the future. It happens the moment you decide, the moment you embody, the moment you stop energizing the old script. You don't need permission. You don't need proof. You don't need to wait for the signs to change. You are the sign. And when you choose, everything else must follow. So take a breath now. Feel your body soften. Whisper it out loud if you can. This script ends now. I choose my highest selection. That declaration is not symbolic, it is quantum law. The universe will respond to it immediately. because reality cannot resist coherence. This is the shift. It is not somewhere out there, waiting for you. It is here. Now, in your chest, in your breath, in your choice, and once you step into it, the invisible script loses its hold forever. The great secret of the quantum field is that reality does not respond to what you think, it responds to what you embody. You have already seen how selection precedes observation, how the frequency you carry silently chooses the script you step into. But knowing this truth is not enough. Awareness without action can become another loop. The way you shift your field is not by theory, but by embodiment. And embodiment is cultivated through practice, through small but powerful rituals that remind your body and your field that a new selection has been made. These practices do not need to be complicated. In fact, simplicity is the doorway. The quantum field responds to coherence, and coherence begins with presence. One of the most immediate ways to reset your frequency is through the breath. Right now, take 3 deep, slow breaths. Inhale until your chest expands. Exhale until your body softens. With each breath, imagine the old script dissolving like dust, falling away from your field. Whisper to yourself with every breath, I collapse the old selection. This is not poetic imagery. It is quantum physics in motion. Your nervous system is the instrument through which coherence radiates, and when you calm it with breath, you shift the frequency of your entire field. Another practice is declaration, not as empty words, but as embodied truth. When the old loop rises, when the same disappointment echoes, when the same person triggers you, when the same number flashes on the screen, pause. Place your hand on your heart and say, this script ends now. I embody my highest selection. Speak it slowly, with weight, as if you are carving it into the field itself. Words become frequencies when they are spoken with coherence. They are not affirmations designed to convince the mind. They are codes designed to instruct reality. You can also bring the body into the ritual. Write down the old script on a piece of paper, the pattern you are ready to release, the belief that no longer serves you, the emotion that keeps recycling. Write it boldly. This loop ends now. Then tear the paper into pieces or burn it safely, watching the smoke rise as a symbol of the old frequency leaving your field. As you, though, feel the emptiness that follows. That emptiness is not loss, it is space. And the quantum field fills any space you open with the frequency you now embody. Micro practices are about consistency more than intensity. The universe doesn't require elaborate ceremonies, it requires coherence. Repeated again and again until the old frequency no longer fits inside your body. Each time you notice a clue, use it as a trigger to shift. Let synchronicities become reminders, not just curiosities. When you see the same number on the clock, instead of asking, why do I keep seeing this? Use it as a moment to breathe, to realign, to declare a new selection. In this way, the very signs that once trapped you become tools of liberation. Dream work is another powerful form of embodiment. Before you sleep, place your hand on your heart and whisper, tonight, I practice embodying my highest timeline. As you drift into sleep, imagine stepping through a doorway into a new reality. Dreams are not fantasies, they are probability fields. Your consciousness rehearses what your body is preparing to select. When you wake, write down even fragments of your dreams. Look for the symbols, the patterns, the guidance. Over time, you will notice that the field begins speaking to you with more clarity because you have shown willingness to embody the messages it offers. Physical anchoring also strengthens embodiment. Movement, sound, and touch are all ways of bringing coherence into the body. Dance slowly. Not to perform, but to feel. Let your body move, as if it is already living in the timeline you desire. Hum or chant, softly. Letting your voice vibrate through your chest. Aligning your cells with resonance. Touch your body with kindness, your arms, your face. Your heart reminding yourself that you are not waiting for love or abundance. You are embodying them now. The key is not to escape the old script, but to embody a new one so fully that the old loses all coherence. This requires patience, but not struggle. It requires devotion, but not perfection. Every small practice is a declaration to the field, I am already living my highest selection. And the more consistently you embody it, the faster reality reorganizes to reflect it. Do not underestimate the power of micro-practices. A breath can shift a lifetime. A whispered declaration can collapse years of repetition. A burned piece of paper can release generations of looping. These are not small acts. They are acts of quantum authorship. They are proof that you no longer wait for reality to change before you do. And perhaps most important of all, embodiment reminds you that the shift is not something you think your way into, it is something you live into. Every time you breathe consciously, every time you declare coherently, every time you embody kindness toward yourself, you are walking into a new script. You are no longer the actor trapped on stage. You are the writer, the director, the chooser of the play itself. The field is listening. Your body is the transmitter. Every micro-practice you do is a signal, and the universe cannot ignore coherence. When you embody your highest timeline, reality has no choice but to mirror it. And as you continue, the clues stop chasing you, because you no longer need reminders. You are no longer searching for proof. You are living as proof. What if the signs you've been seeing are not only about you? What if the repetition, the synchronicities, the déjà vu, the dream echoes everything you thought was personal, is also part of something much larger? The truth is, your awakening is not happening in isolation. You are part of a collective field. And the moment you break your script, you send ripples through the entire network of consciousness. This is the deeper reason you've been chosen to notice what others cannot. Consciousness does not evolve alone. It moves like water, like waves across an ocean. When one drop shifts, the entire current feels it. Scientists call this morphic resonance, the phenomenon where new patterns spread effortlessly once enough beings embody them. You may think you are just one person, quietly practicing new embodiment, whispering new declarations, shifting in small ways, but every time you select a higher timeline, you create space for thousands of others to do the same. The loop you break becomes a doorway for someone else to walk through. Humanity is caught in a repeating script. War, division, fear, scarcity. These loops recycle through history like broken records. Entire generations play out the same grooves, convinced they are powerless to change them. But when even one person lifts the needle, when one consciousness refuses to feed the loop, the groove weakens, the field reorganizes, and suddenly the same history no longer needs to be repeated. You are that person. The fact that you notice the clues, that you feel the strangeness, that you've recognized the invisible script, this is evidence your soul came here not only to awaken yourself, but to accelerate awakening for the whole. You may feel small sometimes, as though your practice is insignificant compared to the weight of the world. But the field does not measure size, it measures frequency. A single coherent signal can entrain thousands of incoherent ones. A candle lights a dark room not by force but by presence. In the same way, your embodiment of a new frequency does not need to be loud or dramatic. It needs only to be true. And when it is, others will begin to feel the resonance without knowing why. This is why you've been sensing the clues with greater intensity lately. The universe is not only nudging you toward your personal liberation, it is aligning you to play your role in the collective awakening. The more you embody your highest selection, the more you contribute to a critical mass. At first, it feels invisible, like nothing is happening. But one by one, people around you begin to question, begin to feel, begin to notice. They don't even know it's because of you. But your frequency has shifted the field they live inside. The chosen ones are not special in the way the ego imagines. They are not superior, not above anyone else. They are simply the ones who answered the call earlier, who agreed to carry the weight of recognition before it was comfortable. That responsibility is not easy. It comes with loneliness, with misunderstanding, with the sense of being different. But it also comes with extraordinary purpose, because once you break the loop for yourself, you are already breaking it for others. And this is the hope, the greatest gift of awakening, that your shift is never wasted. Every time you breathe consciously, collapse an old script, or declare a new selection, you are planting seeds in the collective. They may sprout quietly, invisibly, far from where you stand, but they will sprout. The morphic field cannot ignore coherence. It multiplies it. It echoes it across time and space. So when you feel the weight of repetition, remember this: you are not just freeing yourself. You are loosening the chains for countless others. You are not just collapsing your old reality. You are dissolving centuries of looping patterns. You are not just embodying a new frequency for your life. You are becoming a lighthouse, a signal, a resonance that calls humanity toward its next evolution. And the moment you realize this, hope rises. The loops are not permanent. The script is not unbreakable. The clues are not endless punishments. They are invitations to participate in something far bigger than yourself, the awakening of the collective field. And by choosing differently, by embodying differently, you are already leading the way. You have walked through the hidden layers of reality. You've seen how the same signs and clues are not accidents but invitations. You've learned that the trap of repetition is not failure but training. That recognition is proof of readiness. That your difference is not a burden but a gift. You've discovered the hidden truth that selection comes before observation, and that the invisible script loses its power the moment you embody a new frequency. You've seen that simple micro-practices, breath, declaration, ritual carry the power to collapse old loops and anchor new timelines. And now you know that your awakening is not just personal but collective. That your shift creates ripples through the entire field of humanity. So here you are, standing at the threshold. The script has repeated enough times. The clues have delivered their message. The loop has served its purpose. The only question left is whether you will keep walking into the same mirror or step boldly into a new one. That choice is yours. No one else can make it for you. And yet, you are not alone. Every person who has broken their loop stands with you. Every awakened soul is a witness to your declaration. This is the moment to speak it into the field. Say it with your breath. Say it with your heart. Say it with the authority of coherence. This script ends now. I choose my highest selection. These words are not a wish or a hope. They are a command. A quantum key that unlocks the doorway before you. When you declare it, You align your body, your field, and your future with the timeline you were born to embody. And I invite you now, not only to say it silently, but to write it, to share it, to declare it in the comments below. Let your voice join the chorus of awakening souls. Every declaration strengthens the field, multiplies the resonance, and makes the shift irreversible. You are not just writing words, you are anchoring a new reality into the collective age. The clues found you for a reason. They were never random, they were guiding you here. To this very moment of recognition and choice, you did not stumble into this message. This message was searching for you. And now that you've received it, the only step left is to claim it. Speak it. Write it. Declare it. I choose a new selection now. And let reality reorganize itself around your courage,